Hi, and welcome to God in 10 Minutes. I'm Jack. A name. God by any other name would be still God, right? See, well, this time we're going to look at gematria a little bit. Numbers, gematria, not numerology, gematria. The gematria of God's name expresses two important ideas: His coming kingdom and salvation. See, gematria exists in Greek and Hebrew. Okay? In Greek and Hebrew, the number value of each letter is definitely set. Okay? Both those peoples used letters for numbers. You know, the same with Latin, only not a complete alphabet. You remember that 5 in Roman numerals is a V, okay? And they have other numbers for letters for numbers. In Greek and Hebrew, every letter is assigned a number, okay? The last letter in Greek, omega, has a value of 800. One letter, 800, okay? In Hebrew, the last letter is tav, and that's worth a 400. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, 10, 19, 20, 100, 200, 300, 400. So in both Hebrew and Greek then, we just add up the letter values and we get a word value. It's very simple. It's not very math intensive. Okay? Now the only area that I deal in is gematria, is Bible gematria. See? This is because the numbers in the Bible have symbolism attached to them. So when you find a repeated number in the Bible, you'll find that it appears in pretty much the same or very similar context. Okay? It's the context that supplies the symbolism. My favorite number to example is 600. See, you look up at all the times in the Bible where the number 600 is used, except for some of the ages that are in there, but the 600 is used, and you'll find that it almost always is in the context of war. It's how many weapons, how many soldiers, Goliath's spearhead, 600, whatever it was, a weaver, whatever. It's always in 600, okay? So in the Bible, there's a standard symbol for numbers. 1 symbolizes God, right? 4 is the number of the world, 4 winds, 4 seasons, whatever. We got 6, that's the number of man. We get that right out of Revelation. Number of man is 6, okay? 12 is the number for perfect government. 12 tribes, okay? 12 plots of land, governments. Some of the interpretations of numbers are different. But when we see only the first 12 numbers, there's pretty much a universal agreement about them. Like the number for grace is 5. 5 is the number for grace. So with that little introduction to gematria, let me show you something really neat. God's name in Hebrew. Okay? Now it's often called the Tetragrammaton. Tetra, 4, grammaton, letters, 4 letters. YHWH in English. Okay, in English, we say Jehovah, see? So the word in Hebrew starts with the Y, Yod, okay, Y in English, Yod, and then a Hey, and then Vav, and then another Hey, okay? Yod, Hey, Vav, Hey. Okay, got that so far? Well, Yod has a number value in Hebrew of 10. Okay? Hey has a number value of 5, and Vav has a number value of 6. So I have to thank an email writer for asking a question that brought about this study. I'd never done it before. And he asked this, he said, do you have any ideas on what the H's in Yahweh mean? YHWH, Yahweh. And just letting it run, I didn't know anything particular. I said this, I said, the only thing I know about the H's is that they are valued at 5. Okay? And 5 is the number of grace. God likes to repeat himself so he can establish an idea. At the mouth of 2 or 3, a thing is confirmed. And our salvation, our inclusion in what God's doing, is dependent on his grace. Okay? And his name has twice as much. Right? Twice as much. He's got 2 number 5s in there. 2 Hayes, number 5. Okay? Now you notice that those grace letters bracket the Vav. Ha, Ve, Ha. In the middle. And Vav, the number for Vav, 6. 6 is again the number of a man. Okay? Well, our salvation starts and ends. No, wait, I back up a sentence here. Great. The number of a man. God's grace covers completely, front and back, the imperfections of man. It's pretty simple so far. God's got your back. Okay? Our salvation starts and ends with God's grace. But watch what happens with the Yod. That's the first letter, okay? Yod is worth a 10. 10 is the number for law. Law, ordinal perfection, human responsibility, in other words, okay? Well, that Yod comes first, meaning that all the following is there for those who take responsibility, who take action on God's declaration of grace. I mean, one could even say that God's number is grace, 5, right? Now, is that neat? Okay? Okay? Humans take responsibility. God gives some grace. It's covered. The imperfections of man is covered, and you make it in. Phew. But that's not all. It's never all with God, you know. Never all with God. See, anything you find out about God has all these sub-levels, you know, like the onion. If you add all the number values, you get 10 for the Yod, 5, 6, 5, 26, right? Well, 26. So I looked up my number chart for the Bible symbolism, and 26, what does 26 mean? It's connected to the gospel. The gospel. God's name in numbers means gospel. Wow. So we've got the gospel. That would have to be the gospel that God has been delivering since the fall of Adam. Oh, wait a minute. I thought that was salvation, wasn't it? No, it wasn't salvation. Wouldn't Jesus be the one that preached the gospel that God wanted preached? And what gospel did Jesus preach? He didn't preach the gospel of salvation. That's good news. Gospel means good news. That's good news. But that's not God's good news that he wanted to get out to the rest of the world. That gospel is the coming kingdom. The coming kingdom. So God's name contains his gospel, the kingdom coming, and salvation. How do you get to be part of that gospel? By his grace, by your human responsibility of faithing. See, the first move is ours. The first move is ours. God doesn't do anything but wait for us to make a move, and then he piles it on. No, Jesus is not the starter of our faith. He doesn't start our faith. We start our faith. It's a bad translation. Well, I thank him for that question, because I'd never broken down God's name that way before. But as nice as it was, I wasn't surprised at the message, right? If you watched any of these other short videos, that's the message every place. That's God in 10 minutes, proving that God is God and he's going to set up a kingdom. So it's in the pyramid, it's in the solar zodiac, it's in the lunar zodiac, it's in the breastplate, stones on the breastplate. Genesis 1:1 is in there. Maybe you've seen that video. God in 10 minutes. Thanks a lot for watching. God bless.